Hey everyone, welcome back. So I hope you're having a great Friday. Obviously, a lot of news in the markets today. Markets are mostly up. Bitcoin's up as well, which is great. A couple things I want to talk to you guys today is Andrei Jikh, fellow YouTuber, is calling for a bear market basically in crypto. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at what a bear market actually is. We'll look at the miners as well. We'll look at some stories that we have. Bitcoin being basically compared to the subprime mortgage fiasco that we had back in 2008. We'll also look at Arizona possibly having a bill that would make Bitcoin legal tender. So there's some good news, some bad news, some FUD, I guess. But we'll take a look at all that stuff. And as always, not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research, please. Don't fall for scams. Spam posts get reported and deleted. And below that is the companies that I'm invested in. Just so you guys know. And let's take a look at first of the Bitcoin miners, see how they did today. Today was a pretty good day for them. And we can see here Argo was actually up 2.17% to 94 cents. And Bitfarms was up 8.24% to $3.35. So a nice day in the market for all the miners for the most part. Cleanspark is at 606. It was up 8%, 8.6%. And then after hours, it's up a little bit more. Cores was up 8% as well to 778. And it is up a little bit in the after hours as well. Digihost is up 7.58% to $3.55. DMG was up 5.49% to 44 cents. Hive was up 8.09% to 1870 or $1.87. HUT was up 7.81% to 552. Iris Energy was up 8.37% to $11. Marathon was up 11% to 21.97. Mawson was way up today, 24% to 463. So it was up 90 cents on the day. Huge day for them, obviously, on that. And then we got Riot here was up 9.29%, 1470. And if you recall, in yesterday's video, I said the Apple news that came out, basically, where they just blew out expectations by everybody. And Tim Cook provided some guidance a little bit, saying that the supply issues are getting better. They're not over with, but they're getting better. Has fueled the markets, I think. And we're seeing that today, obviously, not only in crypto, but we're also seeing it in regular NASDAQ market and things like that. So let's take a look at Apple here really quick, see how it did today. Let's see here. Apple was up 6.98% on the day, so it was up $11 basically to $170. And you can see in strong volume, everything else is looking great. Let's take a look at Tesla as well. Tesla was up today also 2%. Let's take a look at Google really quick, see how they did today. Google was up, it's hard to see here. Google was up 3.23% to 2,665. So a lot of obviously green in the markets today. Bitcoin, let's take a look at Bitcoin here really quick as well. So there's the story we're going to cover. So Bitcoin obviously has come up to 37,793. It is above our resistance here, which hopefully will act as our support now. And then our excuse me, our next resistance will be around the 40,500 mark or so. We'll see if we can get up to that. But I think before we get to that, I think our 200-day moving average or the 20-day moving average here is going to act as resistance a little bit before us possibly going up higher. If we look at the 1 hour chart on it here, we can see, let me get rid of the daily lines here so we can see a little bit better. So during the day here, we knocked on it a couple times yesterday. We came down a little bit, and then we came close again to knocking on it today in the afternoon, and we finally broke through it today, and we're kind of trading sideways a little bit right now. So a little indecision in the market. We'll see how this plays out. But like I said, right now, our next kind of resistance is going to be possibly the 20-day moving average here at around 39,000 in the next couple of days if this plays out, and we can maintain support at the 37,500 mark. RSI is looking good too. We're not in the oversold territory. We're kind of in the middle right now, but it's going up slowly, which is good to see. We want to see that slow increase on the RSI and the daily chart. So there was also something else I wanted to show you guys here. If we look at the RSI on the 4 hour chart, we can see the last time we were at this range, 57.27, we were right around here or so and back here. So we're right around the same area when it comes to the RSI and the price range. There was a part in it a while back. When was it? I was looking at it earlier today, and it looked like we were flat on the RSI, but we had an increase in price, which I thought was a good sign there, but that has kind of weaned a little bit now. So something to be mindful as well. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum did well today as well. It was up nicely on the day. If we look at the daily chart, so we've got obviously so far 2 green candles. We'll see how this day plays out. But right now we're looking pretty good on it as well. And you can see it's been kind of range bound here. It's been trading sideways as well. On the other hand, Bitcoin has been steadily going up in price. So like I said, right now our support is 37,500. If we can maintain that, we'll be good. Our next resistance will be the 20-day moving average, and followed by the green line here around 40,500 or so. So that's for Bitcoin. If we look at the total hash rate here, let's reload the page. Hash rate has come down a little bit on the average, on the 7-day moving average. If we look at the raw values, we can see that they're still bouncing up and down, and we're still at 203 million right here on today. So, all right, so let's get into some of the fun that we got going on here, and one of them is obviously Andrei Jikh. You may know him, you may love him. I watch him all the time. Great content, big also into crypto. And like we are a little bit here, he's not that much into miners, but he's more into the cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and things like that. But you can see the video that came out today. The crypto winter is coming. So that's why I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. I think there's a lot of FUD right now in the market. I don't know if we're heading into basically a crypto winter or bear market. And I wanted to take a look at this here. Look at the definition of a bear market and compare it to our current market that we're in, and see if we can make any takeaways from it, basically. Let me zoom this in. Oh, I went too far. Okay, here we go. So what is a bear market? Key takeaways. A bear market occur when prices in the market decline by more than 20%. Okay, so we've seen that. Often accompanied by negative investor sentiment and declining economic prospects. Okay, we have that. I don't know about the economic prospects. We do have obviously the Fed talking about raising rates. But if you look at the earnings reports from some of the big guys like Apple, even Microsoft, Tesla, they're all beating expectations, and the prices of these stocks were still going down. However, today we obviously had a nice green day. So bear markets can be cyclical or longer term. The former lasts for several weeks or a couple of months, and the latter can last for several years or even decades. Short selling, put options, and inverse ETFs are some of the ways in which investors can make money during a bear market as prices fall. So we've also had, talked about this a little bit yesterday. Meet Kevin, obviously, was also selling out of the market. Last week, he sold all of his positions because he thinks everything's going to be going down. So there was a lot of FUD with that, and a lot of people were upset about that as well. But let's take a look at it here. So the causes of a bear market often vary, but in general, a weak or slowing or sluggish economy, we don't have that yet. We haven't seen it, at least in the numbers coming in from the big guys in tech. We'll have to see, obviously, how Q1 plays out this year. See if they're still doing better than they did last year. If they are, this would be a null and void. Bursting markets, bubbles. So we have been obviously going up a lot in the markets. Okay, so I could see that. Pandemics, okay, yeah, we did have a pandemic. Wars, we really don't have any wars. We do have potential of wars with Russia and Ukraine. Geopolitical crisis and drastic paradigm shifts in the economy, such as shifting to online economy. Well, we've been doing that already for a decade, where we're shifting everything to Amazon and everybody else. So that's been going on. So I don't think that's a factor of it. So those things are all factors that might cause a bear market. The signs of a weak or slowing economy are typically low employment. So the signs of a weak or slowing economy are typically low employment. We don't have low employment. We have low unemployment right now. We have basically more demand for labor than there is basically employees willing to work. We know that. A low disposable income, we know that's not the case. Weak productivity, that's not also the case. The company that I work for, we're busier than ever. Last year was our best year. We moved a lot more pounds and everything else, and this year is looking to be the same. A drop in business profits, we're not seeing that as well. So in addition, any intervention by the government in the economy can also trigger a bear market. So that's possibly why people are saying that we are heading into a bear market, because the Fed is going to be raising interest rates this year. But there's still a lot of good news out there. There's a lot of profits that are being made by large companies. So in general, I just don't see this being a bear market just yet. If we start getting bad reports from companies that they are missing their guidance, they're missing their revenues, things like that, okay, then we're heading into a bear market. Right now, I'm thinking we're more like in a little cyclical correction or something like that in the markets, but time will only tell. This is just my own opinion from things that I'm seeing around me and, just the business environment that we're in right now. So time will obviously tell. For example, changes in the tax rate or in the federal funds rate can lead to a bear market. Similarly, a drop in investor confidence may also signal the onset of a bear market. When investors believe something is about to happen, they will take action in this case, selling off shares to avoid losses. So this could be a cyclical thing as well. Bear markets can last for multiple years or just several weeks. A secular bear market can last anywhere from 10 to 20 years and is characterized by below average returns on sustained basis. There may be rallies within the secular markets where stocks or indexes rally for a period, but the gains are not sustained and prices revert to lower levels. A cyclical bear market, on the other hand, can last anywhere from a few weeks to several months, and this is why I think we're in a little cyclical bear market, little correction. And then we can take a look at a chart here that they have. So the S&P 500 bear markets and recoveries. Length of bear markets in months is in blue. Light blue is S&P declines percentages, and then length of recovery in months. So our latest ones that we have here are the ones, let's see if we can see this really well here. So October 27 of 2007, that was obviously the housing prime submortgage mess that we were in. That obviously declined. We declined 56% in the S&P 500. The length of the bear market in months was 17 months. It took us 49 months basically to recover from the lows. And then obviously we had one here in 2020 because of the pandemic. We had a 1 month bear market basically, which we dropped 30%, and then we recovered from that. Prior to that, we had the 1990 July bear market, and the 2001, which went down 49% and 20%, and it took us, length of the bear market was 3 months on the 1990 and 31 months in the 2001. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Obviously, this isn't, or the long length of recovery was 56 months for the 2001. So we'll have to see how this one plays out, which I don't think it's a bear market yet. I think we're just in a cyclical bear market. But like I keep saying, time will only tell. I could be way wrong on this. So here are the phases of a bear market. Bear markets usually have 4 different phases. The first phase is characterized by high prices and high investor sentiment. Sure, we had that last year, obviously in 2021. Things were going up, market was going up, everything was going up. Towards the end of this phase, investors begin to drop out of the markets and take in profits. We've seen that obviously in the markets as well. We've had a 10%, 12%, 15% correction in the NASDAQ. We've had obviously a huge correction in the crypto market. In the second phase, stock prices begin to fall sharply, trading activity and corporate profits begin to drop. We have not seen this yet, obviously, and economic indicators that may have once been positive start to become below average. We haven't seen that as well. Some investors begin to panic as sentiment starts to fall. This is referred to as capitulation. Not sure if we've had capitulation yet in this downturn that we've had right now, but it was pretty bad. Obviously, the fear and greed index hit a pretty all-time low in the crypto space. It was down to like 13 on one day, so that was pretty low. So that might be the capitulation that we were looking for. The third phase shows speculators start to enter the market, consequently raising some prices and trading volume. So could this be the bounce that we had today? Could this be a part of it? It could. Or we'll have to see if this is something that's like a trend that continues on. If it continues on, I think we'll be okay, but time will only tell, right? And in the fourth and last phase, stock prices continue to drop, but slowly as low prices and good news starts to attract investors again. Bear markets start to lead to bull markets. So something to be mindful of, and there's a lot of other information here as well that you guys can take a look at it. And this was from Investopedia. I'm sure you can find it if you just search for a bear market definition or something like that. So that is that. Next story that we got here is from Paul Krugman. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but Nobel laureate Paul Krugman says crypto has disturbing parallels with subprime mortgage meltdown. So here's the key takeaway points from it. There are disturbing echoes of subprime crash in the cryptocurrency market. Nobel Prize winning economist Paul Krugman says, Krugman argues crypto investors are being sold speculative financial products without truly understanding the risks. This is where I disagree. I think a lot of investors obviously know, or at least I would think they would know, that crypto, if you've paid attention to it, has been around for 11, 12 years or so. We've had rallies, and we've had, basically crypto winters, bear markets, where things come down, and then we have rallies again. We've done this time and time again. The only difference that I see this time around is that with the crypto market, we have a lot more institutions being involved, which leads me to believe that we won't have either as drastic a bear market or a crypto winter as we have in the past, because there's a lot more money involved in it right now than there was in the past. That's kind of my thinking on that. The other part of it is people are now investing in altcoins, at least retail investors are. They're getting into altcoins. They're not getting into Bitcoin because Bitcoin has gone up so much. They see that Bitcoin can go 4x, 5x, even if it's where it's at right now at 37,000, almost 40,000. If it goes up to 1 million, that's still only, 20x, right? Roughly? Not 20x. Wouldn't be 20x. 1x would be 60. 10x would be 300. Yeah, so about 20x or so, 20, 25x. Whereas some of the other altcoins, Dogecoin, the Shiba Inu, the other Inus, those have gone up, 50,000% in a year or something like that. So that's where they're getting kind of, I wouldn't say tricked, but they're getting lured into those cryptocurrencies because of the high potential of gains in those. And a lot of them obviously have been crashing down. So as always, do not put more than you can lose in those or in anything in crypto space. But I think as long as you're in it for the long run, you'll be fine. We've seen this time and time again with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those two, I'm more than comfortable investing in those for the long run. I have no problems with that. I do have some speculative plays as well that I play on just to make things interesting and kind of keep it fresh and keep it interesting. All right. So that's my take on that. What else do I want to say? They don't understand the risks. Okay. So I do think they understand the risks, but obviously we've had so much money pumped into the market via the relief packages that we've gotten from the Congress and everything else, where people are getting just money, paychecks, and they're putting those into it. That's what I think fueled a lot of it as well. So hopefully a lot of people didn't get hurt. I'm hoping they made a lot of money and got out of it or put into more reasonable investments. So that's kind of my thinking on it. I think people are smarter than a lot of people give them credit for. So that is that. I won't go too far into it. And then we have the final story here, which is a bill introduced to make Bitcoin a legal tender in Arizona. So Senator Wendy Rogers has introduced a bill proposing to make Bitcoin legal tender in the United States state of Arizona. The bill seeks to add Bitcoin to the list of instruments considered legal tender in Arizona and make the peer-to-peer digital currency a lawful medium of exchange there, enabling citizens to pay debts, public charges, taxes, and dues with BTC. If enacted, all financial transactions that are currently done in US dollars could most likely be done in Bitcoin in the state, including payment, payouts. Citizens could opt to receive their salaries directly in Bitcoin, and companies would have complete freedom as to how and when they could use Bitcoin. So here is the bill itself. You can go ahead and read that. I'm not going to read into it. But Arizona could become the first U.S. state to recognize Bitcoin as legal tender if the bill moves forward and gets approval. And we also have allowing the freedom to transact with and store wealth in an incorruptible form of money that is also more sound than the dollar is a net positive to the state of Arizona and its citizens. Similar intentions are brewing in Texas. Governor candidate Huffins said he will try and make Bitcoin legal tender in his state if he wins the election. As he says, Texas must stop the federal government from shutting down the industry and discriminating against Bitcoin holders. And this is mainly because we know that Texas is pretty much now the supreme state for Bitcoin mining. A lot of companies are in there. Riot, you got Mara, you got CoreLogic getting into it, you got, who else is getting into it? Argo, there's another one. Can't think of the other ones, but they're all basically going into Texas for cheap electricity and things like that. So a lot of interesting stuff. Like I said, I don't think we're in a bear market yet. Time will tell. Right now, like I said, there's just too much good news as far as earnings are concerned. We'll see how Q1 plays out. And if Q1 plays out well, I think we'll be going back up. That's just my opinion on that. Even if interest rates go up a little bit. I mean, they're saying from 0.75% to 1% increase this year, possibly. Not a big deal. Interest rates are still historically low from where they've been. I've said this before. My first house was 7.5% when I bought it. Obviously, I'm down now to 2.9. can't beat that. I mean, even if it goes up to a little bit, it's still basically free money that you're getting. So I'm not too concerned about it, but we'll see how things play out. All right, so that's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Love talking to you guys there. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys watching. Have a great evening. I'll probably do a live stream tonight, probably around 11 o'clock. I'll put out a release if I do that, just so you guys know. And as always, hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification bell helps me out tremendously. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, be well. See you then. Bye.